Begging your pardon, miss.
How can I help you, sir?
Ja, bisher. Ja, hallo. Es geht denn so alles klar bei Ihnen?
I understand you were involved with Ennis Bowditch.
Was involved, yes. I haven't spoken to him in nearly 2 months.
Oh, were you not aware of his death then?
What? Ennis is dead?
Well, this is awkward.
Indeed. I'm sorry to have to be the bearer of bad news.
How did it happen?
I'm afraid he was murdered.
Murdered? By who? And why?
Those are exactly the questions I'm trying to answer myself.
Oh, I see. Are you a detective?
A private investigator, yes.
Well, I'll answer what I can. If it helps any, that is.
I'm certain it will.
Der scheint ja bisher
What
noch
was
ganz
your
nett gewesen
relationship
zu
with Mr.
sein.
Bowditch like?
Oh, well, it was nice at first.
Oh.
He was a proper gentleman-like. But then something changed.
Oh?
It's like I told Ruby. I think he might have got hit on the head at work because he seemed to be a completely different person. He'd get angry for no reason. He even... Well, that bit's not important. At first, I thought he was just going through some rough times, but after a while I realized he'd changed for the worse. So I broke things off. He wasn't too happy about it, but I wasn't going to stick with a man like that.
Sehr gut.
Could you tell me more about this Ruby you mentioned?
Ruby? Oh, I've known her since we were little. She's my dearest friend. There's not a secret between us. She was a great help when I kicked Dennis to the curb. I'm lucky to know her. Everyone should have someone like Ruby in their life.
You've been working here for quite a while, haven't you?
I have, yes. Coming up on 3 years. Been a real pleasure getting to know all the regulars. They've come to be sort of like a second family. By the way, whatever happened with you and your lady friend?
I beg your pardon?
Well, that nice lady you met in here a couple of times. Did it work out between the two of you?
Oh, that? No, that was strictly business.
Right. Well, if you see her, tell her I said hello.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
Justice killer? Is that some kind of pesticide?
No, it isn't. Never mind. I'll let you get back to work.
Thank you, sir.
Ich verstehe. Ja, aber wie ausgewechselt.
All that metal and tubing just to serve a hot cup of coffee?
Es formt sich noch kein so richtiges Bild. Nicht mal ansatzweise. Ey, was ist denn hier passiert? Das sieht nicht gut
Well,
aus.
that doesn't look good.
Danke, Bill. Das habe ich auch gerade
Well,
gesagt.
that does.
Hör auf, mir meine Worte zu klauen, du Arsch.
This place sure is big. I wonder if they actually make anything useful.
Bestimmt. Das ist im Bereich der Arbeit. Okay, wir können noch weitergehen. Erstmal reden wir mit dem Vorarbeiter hier.
Excuse me, sir. Are you in charge here?
Unfortunately, who are you? This area isn't open to the public.
I'm Miles Fordham, and I'm a private investigator looking into the murder of one of your workers.
A private investigator, eh? Then maybe you can help me out.
No.
I'll do what I can, but I'll need to ask you some questions, Mr.
Mims. Sanford Mims. Go ahead, but make it snappy.
Zack, zack. Snappy, snappy. Okay, Hannibal Kirkland.
What can you tell me about Hannibal Kirkland? A former employee here?
Listen, I've got a lot on my mind right now.
I understand, but it's important to my investigation that you tell me what you know about him.
I'm sure it is, but as you can see, I've got a lot to deal with right now.
Well, he's no help. Maybe you can figure out a way to help.
Ja, das habe ich mir auch gerade schon gedacht. Okay.
How long have you been the
Sometimes I think it's been too long. Things were so much easier before we got these machines. They keep saying they're supposed to improve our lives, but they've been nothing but trouble. I've already had 5 of my best men get mangled by some of them. And then there's these damn fools blowing things up. My hair wasn't this gray 5 years ago, you know. I swear one of these days, I'm just going to pack it all up and retire. Let someone else deal with these damn things.
Redites.
What happened to your iron mill?
What's it look like? The damn thing went and got blown up.
Was it in disrepair?
Of course not. All my machinery is sound, checked and serviced regularly. This is the work of those goddamn Redites. I'm sure of it.
What makes you certain the explosion was the Redites doing?
Take a look, boy. The whole mill got taken out. Even if this had been a mechanical failure, which it wasn't, The explosion would have been contained to a single part of the machine. This couldn't have been anything other than sabotage.
Have you had problems with the Redites before?
They've sent anonymous letters, but this is the first time they've actually carried out one of their threats.
You're absolutely sure this was sabotage, then?
Yes. How many times have I got to tell you that? Listen, you said you were an investigator, right? So find out who did this to my machine. If you do, I'll help you out with whatever else you wanted to ask me about.
Looks like we haven't got much of a choice. He seems pretty upset about his machine.
I'll see what I can do.
Ich weiß jetzt nicht, ob wir gerade zu viel Zeit verschwenden.
I'll be...
Be careful.
Das wäre blöd.
Completely ruined. Whoever sabotaged this knew what they were doing.
Aber ich will mir das genauer anschauen.
This place sure is complete.
Okay, ich kann mir das nicht genauer anschauen, wie es aussieht.
Complete.
Gehen wir mal zum Bereich der Arbeiter.
My apologies.
Okay, da können wir nicht hingehen.
This place sure
Wie soll ich denn jetzt herausfinden, was da passiert ist? Ich kann ja nicht hingehen. Er stellt sich ja nur davor
complete.
und sagt, completely ruined. Wer immer das getan hat, wusste, was er da tut. Und dann sagt er nichts mehr. Und dann ist Ende hier. Das ist ja auch ein bisschen doof. Gut, dann gehe ich erstmal. Scheint hier jetzt nicht weiter. Also ich scheine hier ja nicht weiterzukommen. Schau mal kurz in mein Notizbuch. Okay, Percival McDonalds Büro, Parlamentsgebäude untersuchen, mehr zu Reggie Williams Privatleben herausfinden, mit der Bedienung im Rouen Kaffeehaus sprechen. Okay, das müssen wir scheinbar auch noch tun. Saboteur des Walzwerkes finden in der Thurber Eisenhütte. Das war der, warte mal, wir sollen zu seinem Privatleben mehr herausfinden. Das ist der Typ beim Taxifahren. Okay, interessant. Kurze Pause, dann bin ich gleich wieder da. Okay, so, da bin ich wieder. Und jetzt mal ein bisschen ruhiger. Viel zu tun. Sehr viel zu tun.
Fordham, how goes the investigation?
I'm making some headway.
Is that right? I certainly hope so for your sake.
Halt die Klappe. Verdammter Mistkerl.
The rumor was always that the chief kept a bottle of something in a secret compartment in this cabinet. In Snelling's case, it's probably just water. Chief Jacobs. Now there was a leader.
Schnuckig.
Every book and file in there is organized to perfection. I'll bet Snelling gets flustered if anything is even a millimeter out of place. You should bump into the side when he's not looking. You should bump in.
So, reden wir mit Snellings.
Chief Snelling?
Yes,
Snelling.
Fordham?
Ekelhaft.
Have you got any information on the Redites?
The Redites? That ridiculous gang of troublemakers? Yes, I have some information. What's your interest in them?
A witness is refusing to speak with me unless I can figure out who sabotaged his iron mill.
I see. All I can offer is a list of names of known Redites along with their last known whereabouts. But I remind you that you only have until tomorrow afternoon before this indulgence expires, and I throw you in jail. This seems like a waste of time.
That's my decision to make.
Very well. I'll give you the list when you're ready to leave.
Okay.
Enjoying your new position, Snelling?
Reaping the rewards for years of hard work and dedicated service. A gratifying feeling you'll never be able to experience.
Oh, I get my gratification in other ways.
I'm sure you do, and I'd honestly rather not know about them.
Okay.
I need to get back to my investigation.
Yes, time is not on your side, Fordham. Here you are. This is the most recent list of known Redites.
Clovis Sullivan. Oh, God.
This is a lot of names. If we're going to track down this saboteur, it might be best to retire to a more tranquil environment. Fancy a trip back to Upton's?
Ich frage mich gerade, ob ich das wirklich so machen möchte. Ich glaube, wir gehen erstmal ins Parlament. Ah, aha.
Fordham, what brings you to this delightful spectacle?
Hello, Edwards. I'm investigating the Justice Killer. I believe I've got a very promising lead.
I heard an officer mention new orders from Snelling, but I thought he was just pulling my leg. Feel free to have a look around. I'm just writing up the notes from my initial examination of the body, so I'll be happy to share my findings.
Good. I'll just get started then.
Keine Blume. Ist das erste, was mir auffällt, wenn ich mich hier so umschaue.
Looks pretty fresh. I wonder what the killer uses to write with.
Die Blume?
Nothing but a bunch of boring documents. You'd think he could have at least been considerate enough to keep something scandalous in here. Nothing has been written in yet for next month. Curious. Odd. The page for this month has been torn out. You suppose Edwards might know anything about that?
Wäre möglich, ja. Fällt mir
Nothing has
sonst
been-
irgendwas auf?
Nothing.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, auch ordentlich gezählt. Hätte ja sein können, dass da irgendwie ein Hinweis in der falschen Zählung sein könnte oder so. Mist, aber wirkt nicht
These
so.
appear to be books on cryptography. I suppose everyone needs a hobby. History books and political theory. I might die of boredom.
Ey,
Again.
das ist voll cool. Und ich glaube nicht, dass du letztes Mal
The
wegen
former
Langeweile gestorben
Percival
bist.
McDonough, being a good politician. Leave it to a politician to hang a portrait of himself in his own office.
Okay, das ist ziemlich eingebildet.
No signs of forced entry that I can see. The murderer didn't come in through this window.
Und wenn doch, dann wurde er reingelassen. Okay, das war's, ne?
Got a moment, Edwards?
Of course. What's on your mind?
So, what was found at the crime scene?
A dead body.
Edwards.
Hey, just trying to lighten the mood a bit.
Ich hab
Anyway,
gelacht.
there was also the word justice written in blood.
Is that all?
Oh, sorry.
What more do you need? All the pieces are in place. This is the work of the Justice Killer.
What did your examination of the body turn up?
Apparent cause of death was a single gunshot to the head, exactly like all the other victims. The bullet is still lodged in his brain. I'll remove it once I transport the body back to the mortuary.
Anything else?
No personal effects of note, just a folded up piece of paper in his breast pocket. It's blank, so the police weren't interested. I assume you aren't either.
Never assume, Edwards. I'll take it if you don't mind.
Be my guest.
Dankeschön.
Did the police manage to learn anything during their investigation?
Not much beyond what I've already told you. I think they were planning on speaking to the victim's wife, though.
Did you get the address?
I did, as a matter of fact. 1820 Kent Place.
Now we get to deal with the grieving widow. Hopefully the officers who delivered the news got the worst of it.
Did you find an Easter lily anywhere?
An Easter lily?
Yes. The Justice Killer leaves one at every crime scene.
Is that right? I never noticed.
Neither did anyone else, apparently.
So how does leaving a lily at the scene of the crime figure into all of this?
I'm still trying to figure that out, but I think it might be important to understanding his motive.
Well, be sure to let me know if you do figure it out. The thought process of killers is a twisted, curious thing.
Das heißt, das hier war nicht der wirkliche Justice Killer.
What's your take on this whole Justice Killer
Weil hier keine
situation?
Easter-Lied hinterlassen wurde.
It's giving me a lot of extra work, let me tell you. We haven't had a serial murderer in a long time. Not since that fellow who was poisoning people about 10 years ago.
Ah, yes. The Gascon Ghoul. Now there was a case.
Any theories or insights regarding the killer's motive or identity?
That's not really my specialty. If you want to get into that psychology stuff, you're better off talking to someone like Snelling.
Okay.
Does it feel good to be out of the office?
As long as I have the chance to examine a body and learn something in the process, I don't care where I am. Though I do admit a preference to working in my own environment. Fieldwork can be a bit uncertain. There's so much more potential for contamination, especially with those clumsy officers trouncing about groping everything. Present company excluded, of course.
Dankeschön.
Edwards, did you notice McDonough's desk calendar?
I did. This month has been torn out. I asked the officers investigating the scene, and they had no idea what happened to it.
So it wasn't found in this room?
That's right. My theory is that the killer took it.
Which means there was probably something incriminating written on it. If only there was some way of knowing what it was.
Miles, have you forgotten the oldest trick in the book? Just find a pencil and you'll have that information in no time.
Klar.
Edwards, do you have a pencil I might borrow?
Durchdruck.
Of course. Take this one.
Thank you.
Das war einfach.
That's all for now, Edwards.
Good luck with your investigation.
Aber daran hätte ich jetzt natürlich auch nicht gedacht. Beziehungsweise senken auch die seltensten Spiele daran, weswegen ich das cool finde.
A classic trick. Let's see if it works.
Ach, ich muss gedrückt halten, okay. T. Shagley? Ach komm, ein Parlamentsabgeordneter hat nur einen Termin. Nein. Oh.
Intriguing. I wonder if this is the same Ruby the girl at the coffee house mentioned.
Oh. Jetzt wird's interessant. Aber wirklich ein Parlamentsabgeordneter mit nur 2 Terminen im Monat? Ich bitte euch. Ah, mehr haben wir nicht, ne? Nee. Aber das wird doch mal interessant. Eine Ruby. Hallo? Ich kann nicht... Ich kann den Bleistift nicht weglegen. Hilfe! Ich will hier raus. Hallo? Ne. Scheiße.